Hello, and welcome to the first recorded session of Talus, Av.a.ta Unbound. My name is Aaron, and I am the creator and game master behind both the Av.a.ta setting and the Talus game. My friends and I have been crafting this world through our D&D campaign for over 2 years, so there is miles of ground to cover. Suffice it to say, we're just going to hit the ground running in media res. For those interested in the backstory of how we all got here and what it all means, I'll be adding a link to the show notes to our World Anvil wiki site. I will also be doing an episode guide with notes explaining any references that may be made during the game. So again, welcome to the Talusverse. Nothing is what it seems.
Kind of feels weird not being an animal anymore.
It was kind of
Hey,
weird.
who took my nuts?
Did you have any nuts?
As far as I checked, you still had yours.
Hold on.
Check.
Yep, you're right.
Nut check. 1, 2.
All right. Well, we found the first ball. What should we do now?
Well, clearly we gotta go find the other ball.
Clearly. I think
Because, you can't just put all your eggs in one basket.
We have eggs.
Are they cursed eggs?
Eggs, curse warden things, that stuff.
Couple eggs?
Are we calling them eggs now so people won't know what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was talking
That's
about.
what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant plan.
That actually makes sense.
Does it?
It's better than saying the other thing.
That's true.
Do we want to go and visit anywhere before we take off, or are we just gonna go right for that ball?
You
Do
mean
we have
basket.
Yeah,
Ah, yes, basket.
the cookie jar.
We need a basket for our eggs.
But it's less of a basket. Baskets are easy to get into.
I think this metaphor is falling apart.
With
Yeah.
that, you hear some noises coming from the woods beyond the clearing. Something is approaching.
Something friendly. Something big.
Something I'm going to disappear into the darkness.
Perception?
You can give a perception roll if you like.
Okay. Can somebody do that? Because I don't have my stuff up yet. Not prepared.
It's okay. So,
Desire does not exist.
I will roll for you. I don't know what your perception score is.
Plus 100.
all right. So
Doubtful.
so Galan, you have an eye on, or a line on a object moving in the woods. You see a glint of light reflecting off of what you suspect is metal.
Whatever it is might be armored. Maybe we should make like Fazire. And then
Maybe it's that robot dude we met, back when I went with Dribbles to go buy the thing.
I'm gonna make like Fazire. And I take a deep breath and
All right.
walk behind.
So Galan disappears, having taken a deep breath, and is now invisible. Fazire disappears into the shadows using her stealth. Everyone else, yeah, go ahead.
I will activate Divine Sense just to see if they are celestial fiend or undead. If not, then
Neither.
okay.
Can I?
I
try
take
to
that
move
back.
over?
Hold on a second. I take that back. Slight hint of celestial,
Okay.
but just a dash.
Right.
All right. So, the rest of you see a figure lumbering through the thicket into the clearing. And even from a distance, you recognize this to be a ally that you have in the past known, and now in the future past have just reacquainted with, Sir Tomlin. He calls out to you, Hail and well met. It's a long travel up here. I was grateful to locate you. I'm so sorry to trouble you. Would you mind if I join your little group here for a moment? I have some news.
Hey, Sir Tomlin, how's it going?
Oh well, I'm doing fine. Splendid, actually. He says this, but he doesn't look fine. He looks pale and gaunt.
You got that substance problem under control?
I mean, it's a day-to-day thing. I'm afraid. I do find I am tempted at times, but with your help and with the help of my good friend, he taps his shoulder. I'm making it through. And to be honest, that's actually why I'm here. Sir Gerald, we're here, Sir Gerald. And as he leans over to his pauldron, it lifts up on a hinge, and a squirrel pops out of the pauldron and looks at you all and starts squeaking. And Sir Tomlin looks at Gerald and says, Yes, I will relay. Yes, of course, I'll relay the message. Please come. It's all right, Gerald. So, good friends. Sir Gerald here tells me that you're on a quest, and he fears he may be of vital importance to the next phase of your quest. And he is asking, or more like demanding, that he be allowed to accompany you. If that is, of course, within something you feel is proper.
I will cast Speak with Animals.
Alright.
And I'll kind of walk over to Sir Tomlin, but directly face Sir Gerald. How can you be of help? Squeaker, 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 squeak.
And you hear a squeak, squeak, squeaker, squeaker, squeak back. And Sir Gerald says, I know you're going to Bastion. I need to go to Bastion with you. I can help you.
What's in Bastion that you need so badly?
It's not what I need. It's for your own good. I'm afraid what happens in Bastion if I'm not there. It's not safe.
Why is it not safe in Bastion?
Probably not easy to explain. Bastion's a very dangerous place, and I happen to be connected with some of with the person in charge. You're gonna need my help. Trust me?
Well, clearly we need to go to Bastion first, then.
Well, that's where the basket's at.
Indeed. Basket for the eggs.
Correct. Well, Sir Gerald here says that he can be a sort of liaison for the dangers that may be there.
Well, that seems useful.
Although I'm still trying to wrap my head around how we're supposed to get down there if it's in the bottom of the ocean.
How does a squirrel know about the bottom of the ocean?
I'll pop out behind Sir Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Dr. Dribbles say he had like a diving bell? Something? I think he wanted us to use that, maybe? Or maybe Sir Gerald knows a different way?
I asked for Gerald.
Sir Gerald says, the entrance to Bastion is underwater for a reason. It wasn't always underwater, but it's been moved underwater for protection. Mostly because people were getting killed. So I haven't been back there since it was submerged. To be perfectly honest, I don't know how we get down there.
So Gerald says he doesn't know how to get down there.
Oh, well, what kind of use is a squirrel who doesn't know how to get to the bottom of the ocean? I mean, clearly.
Well, I don't know if he's supposed to be the one that gets us to the bottom, but more so he's the one that's going to aid us in the dangers of the process. I don't know. I trust him though. He's a squirrel.
Do squirrels not know how to lie?
Well, I don't know if they know how to lie or not, but I mean, have you met a mistrustful squirrel?
Yeah, they're called squirrels.
Well, maybe he knows a whale.
Maybe.
We can all hide in the whale's mouth, and then the whale could dive us right down in there.
We need a candle and a feather.
We're not doing that night again.
Aren't you?
I think there are some potions that let you breathe underwater. I think I remember reading about one.
Do we need to stop by and talk to Mr. Dribbles first, or can we just go?
Well, he didn't give us that bell, so.
Yeah.
We could see what's in his workshop, and it might be nice to talk to him before we just barge into his workshop.
You
Although
also
he might be there.
Yeah, you also have information about Capstone that he probably should share it with him before you go.
Okay. So, to the Troubadour.
All right. So the part
So Tomlin just walked all the way up here.
he's
We're
a
just
little out of
back.
breath. So Gerald, it seems our travels up here may not have been necessary. They were going to meet us at the Troubadour. Sometimes squirrels can be so impatient. And he squeaks it back in the pauldron. Well, bloody hell. Fine.
What did he say?
He says, you need the exercise anyways.
Not hearing that, I'm gonna feel bad for Sir Tomlin and cast a floating disc.
He accepts. Oh, you are a lifesaver. This armor is terribly heavy.
You know you can't take that off, right? Do you have a need to wear that?
I'm not sure I trust myself without it at this point in time, but when I do take it off, it will mean that I have made progress in my recovery.
Does he smell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep the disc at the maximum. Which I think is like 20 feet, so... Oh
Sounds
boy.
good. Alright, sounds like you guys are making your way back down the mountain towards the Troubadour, your bar, to see Dr. Dribbles, the mixologist, the bartender, and also the curse watcher in charge of your curse warden duties. So you make your way back down. I'm going to say that finding a lift between Center Hold, which is the topmost part of of Talus, which is where the administrative head of state is, down to the landfall coast, is not hard because there's a lot of travel between the two places. Hitch a ride, and you are back at the Troubadour within about an hour. The disc has probably dissipated at this point, or maybe you're just carrying him behind the cart.
It's an hour.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sir Tomlin gets off of the disc as you guys get off the truck that had carriage that had been carrying you down, and you were in front of the Troubadour.
Oh man, we got time to stop and get some fiery drinks.
Maybe a nap might be good. It was kind of a weird morning.
I mean, we did talk to a talking tree, and the Jabberwocky, and the other thing.
And that cat thing.
Did Zizkak ever get healed up from his wounds?
Well, maybe.
Good question.
I thought there was a lay on hands.
There might have
Yeah,
been.
I think I did.
Nope. Ziskek is still 20 points down.
You're
It's
fine.
fine. It's fine.
You're fine. You're fine.
Might want to wash your clothes there, Zizkek. I think you're... Are you still bleeding?
I'm wondering if Zizkek has clothes. I thought he just wore fur.
You mean these things? These old rags? Nah, they're fine.
All right.
Alright.
So, a drink and a nap.
Drinking a nap.
Drinking a nap.
You make your way into the Troubadour, and just entering into this wonderful place, this part of your history here in Talus, your own bar, and the memories flood back. You've only been back in time for roughly about a week, probably less, more like 3 days, and you feel like home. All the destruction and the death and the fire that happened in the future, it's in the back of your mind. It's a memory that won't ever leave, but you're comforted by the smell and the sounds and the light streaming through the windows. And Dr. Dribble's behind the bar, safe and sound. And he calls out to you. Good hunting, I hope. How did everything go?
We found a nice basket for the eggs. That what we're calling it still?
I
Yes,
see.
yes.
Yes, a basket. I'm quite sure that the basket is a good place for them. If you've come back with good information on that location, any particular information you'd like to share on that basket?
Yeah, the basket is really made out of a tree.
A talking tree.
Yeah, don't
Oh.
cut down the tree.
So the rumors are true, it seems. I'd always heard that the basket, as you say, was something of a enigma. Of course, Snoozle, being the patron of that realm, has a particular sense of humor.
It's not an enigma, it's a tree.
Quite. So,
Although that might describe the Jabberwocky and the Bumblesnatch, but you know.
Bandersnatch.
Oh, but yeah, that Bandersnatch.
Have you had a drink yet?
oh, sorry, I'm slacking in my duties. Yes, of course. What can I service each of you with? We're having a very well, it seems to be a pretty light day, so I'm yours in service.
Fire whiskey for me.
Indeed, could have predicted that, Zizkek, right away.
Quite.
Anyone else?
Wine as per usual.
Very well. I have a wonderful cask that we just opened up. It's a little bit sweet, but I find it to my liking. Galan, for you?
I'll just take some water. I'll make my own.
Right. A little magic never hurt anybody, right? Good on you. And for you, Fazaya?
Just some water, please.
All right. One waters. And Eldrick, what are you servicing today?
Ooh, I feel like an appletini.
Appletini. Excellent choice. I happen to have a very unique combination of flavors that makes an appletini, but with a little bit of a kick to it. I've been meaning to try it out, and if you're game, I'd love to have you sample it if you don't mind.
Ooh, it sounds delicious.
I'll get working on that right away. While I'm doing so, Aelan, is there anything I can get for you?
Yeah, I'd like a nice strong ale, thank you.
Good easy choice and a stout option. We have a new provider that we're featuring these days. It's from the Hoarfrost Brewery that just opened up down the street, and they have a very particular stout ale that you might find very much to your liking. It's dwarven brewed, but I take that as a compliment. Actually, they're quite skilled in their crafting of these fine ales. Let me get that for all of you. Please sit down, relax, and I'll be with you shortly. Dr. Dribbles goes back to his behind the bar lab, where he begins to make a few drinks at the same time. The first being, of course, an appletini, which has multiple parts to it. You see that he has taken out two different flasks. One is red and one is green. They seem to be a distilled concentration of some sort, and he's pouring them both in equal parts. As the green and red kind of swirl around, they make like a striped swirling pattern, almost like a frozen tornado in this alcohol, this liquid. The martini glass being a very funnel-like shape, it works really, really well aesthetically. And he uses an apple that he has cut up and slices ever so fine shavings, and he kind of lays them on the top, putting that drink aside as it is prepared. He then gets the cask of wine that he mentioned. It is looks like a recently opened oak cask, small, probably no more than a 10-gallon. He hefts it up on the side of the bar and has a stopper that he has turned, pouring out a measure of wine. It's amber in color, which is actually not a color you've seen a lot of wines. It has a kind of a glow to it, not an actual glow, but more of an effervescence that it kind of pours into this glass in kind of a flow. As it does so, it settles in. There's a little bit of particulate in the wine, but it seems like it's a really good pour. He then takes the very well-used but always topped off bottle of fire whiskey that Zizkek finds ever so tempting. He has put a particular device that you've never seen him use before. It's a pour stopper where he can kind of tilt it over and pour it exact measurements without actually opening up or taking off the stopper itself. And he kind of does this with a little bit of a flair, where he kind of pulls it up high off the ground and pours it down into this very small glass, skillfully and with precision, and completes that drink. Grabs some cold water, and of course a wonderful tankard of ale, filled to the brim. This is a thick head on this tankard. He actually floats a walnut on the top of it, just to show that it has a lot of strength to it. And this is a tankard of solid, or I should say sturdy, clay, and he kind of sits it down on the tray with a good thud, and carries the drinks over to you guys. And he says, now Galan, do you need a glass, or are you going to poof one of those up too?
Could I make a glass?
I don't know, but if you need one, we have plenty. Here you go. Here, everyone. Here's your drinks. Now, while you're enjoying those, if there was anything else you wanted to share, please feel free.
Oh.
So,
Well, cheers, first of all.
cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Tangy.
To our understanding, this particular basket needs spoken word to access it. Are we like directly teleported there when we say it? Is that what happened?
Last time you did it, you were teleported exactly to the tree.
Is there
Okay.
anybody else in the pub? I'm sorry if you said that before.
A few people. They're in a little bit of a distance away, but if you guys wanted privacy, you could probably go into your tent. I'm sorry, your hut.
Tiny
We
hut.
should take it.
Your
I think
tiny
we might want to move to the hut to talk about our eggs.
Right.
Might be simpler, yeah.
All right.
Grab the drinks.
Grab your drinks. You make your way into the former office for Dokshe, which is now completely occupied by a permanently structured tiny hut. As you enter into the tiny hut, this kind of grass hut seems like a very small space. But as you walk in, it's very roomy and very luxury appointed.
It's much bigger on the inside.
Much bigger on the inside. It's also much quieter.
Ah, privacy at last.
So, Dr. Dribbles sits down, and he seems to be drinking from a very small, almost like a thimble of some brownish liquid. He's just taking very small sips. So, you were saying about the eggs in the basket, a keyword or something? I wasn't following.
Hold on, I'm like trying to find the poem.
Yeah, so you gotta say this whole, like, thing of words. And then these two giant, like, completely terrifying monsters show up. And if you say it right, they don't lash you across the back. But if you don't, you end up like this. And then, after everything's all settled, then you can talk to the tree. And he'll eat whatever you want, and then barf it back up for you.
You also have to appease these two guardians. So not
Which
just...
we did.
Right.
I see.
That was interesting. Good call, whoever started the song, by the way. That was... Yeah, of course.
Eva?
Well,
I decided that we should have a party for them.
that does seem rather different than the current vault. Access seems a little bit easier if you can get teleported straight there. The restrictions on only those who added the item into the quote-unquote vault can retrieve them. That's a good. I think that's a good protection measure.
So you already know about that then?
Well, that's the rumors. I'm suspecting that that's the case. Am I correct?
It does seem to be the case. We tried a few ways to break that rule. The tree was...
You, he says.
Yeah,
we tried for like an hour to break it.
The last time we trusted one of these vaults, we had to go back in time to fix it. We're still back in time trying to fix it.
Well, we didn't really know that so many people were going to try such extreme measures either. It's kind of like a weird thing.
This is.
Well, when you've got eggs like ours, I think it kind of wants that much attention.